ease? What is overworking? What is burnout? How do we create softness? What is authentic softness? So many questions that we're going to be diving into today with Coach Tish. I am Elle. I am the creator of the House of Ease. I help high achieving women break free from the rat race and recover from burnout by redefining success on their own terms so that life can feel as good as it looks without exhaustion or overwork or burnout. And I'm here today with my illustrious guest, Coach Tish. Before we started going live, we already talked about these are a few of our favorite things. So please introduce yourself and share who you are and what you are up to in the world today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Coach Tish, and I do a lot of different things. I consider myself a liberator, a strategist, of course, a coach, and I do work with high achieving women. My focus is primarily on those of us who have desk jobs. I'm having a little bit of feedback. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so my voice is bouncing back. I'm not exactly sure why. Uh, and I
I
don't
don't
know what's wrong.
I don't hear an echo on my end.
Okay.
Do you hear an echo?
Let me see. Yep, I still hear it. Don't know why, but that's okay. I'll continue.
Okay.
My focus is primarily on those of us who have desk jobs that have received either a health scare or chronic pain diagnosis as a result of sitting all day. That was my story. I tell you, I feel like I was initiated by pain. 3 days of not being able to walk, sit, or stand without pain, and it changed my entire life. How I live, how I work, how I go through life, and really my position on hustle culture, on working a full-time job, and my position is not to quit. My position is to work differently. So that's what I'm about, really, is helping more of us who have these full-time jobs adjust our approach and adjust our relationship to work so that we don't have to sacrifice our nervous systems for success.
Beautiful. There's so many nooks and crannies I'm excited to dive into with you today. There are things I really want to talk about, but before we get started, I like to always have patron saints for the conversation. And so today's patron saints are behind us. I will share with who we have. One of our
Yeah.
patron saints is Alice Walker, patron saint of today's conversation.
Yes.
Yes, author of The Color Purple and so many beautiful works of art. Why she is a patron saint for today is because she has chickens and she has a deep relationship to her chickens and her life of ease on a farm, kicking it with her chilling with her chickens. And that just inspired me today. I'm like, I want to bring in elder wisdom, elder ease, because her generation didn't necessarily know how to center ease or honor their nervous systems. And I think she's an incredible beacon of what that can be like. So we're bringing Alice Walker into the conversation today.
Welcome on
And
that.
Dr. Maya Angelou is our
Oh,
other
now.
patron.
Yes.
And for all the reasons, right? Like just I think she modeled authenticity and ease and
Yes.
truth and love all of her life until her last breath. And I'm so grateful for her modeling as an ancestor. So she is also with
Absolutely.
us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. So, can you
Absolutely.
share with us let's go back to, and we don't have to stay here long, but let's go back to these 3 days of not
Yeah.
being able to sit, stand, walk, or move without pain. How did you
Yeah.
get to that place?
So, truth be told, it started probably in 2023 with numbness. I was traveling the world, um, really just trying to live this glorious life of living abroad with my remote job. And I started feeling some numbness in my thigh. Um, and I just thought, oh, I'm gaining weight. I eat from the apps. most days of the week, right? So I'm ordering from the apps. I'm like, okay, when I get back to Playa Carmen, this little beach town that I love, when I get back there, like I'll focus on my health. It's not a big deal. So I think that's really where it started, that numbness that I would feel. Um,
Like physical numbness.
Physical numbness in my thigh. Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm laying on the bed and I feel some numbness. And I remember specifically, I think I was in Barcelona or Madrid. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I was like, oh, what is that? Well, that's kind of weird. That's odd. But I didn't think much of it. I eventually came back to Playa del Carmen in 24. Um, and in May, I was in Cuba. And I remember distinctly, we were on a bus and I was sitting. Oh no, we were at a tour, and I was sitting, and we were drinking conchata, which is like this really cool honey lemon moonshine mix.
Ooh.
Yes, it was delicious. Okay,
Ooh.
and I felt the strongest pain in the back of my hamstring. I screamed out, and I was like, what is that? Maybe I'm dehydrated. Somebody give me some water. That was the first where my mind went. I just need some water. I'm sitting here drinking this drink, and I've not been drinking enough water. That's what it is.
Okay.
That is not what it was. I kept drinking the water. I kept feeling the pain. I'm like, okay, so I drank my weight in water. This is not dehydration. So
Over what period of time were you drinking just the?
like 24 hours, and I felt the pain the next day. Like I was flushing myself
Wow.
with water. It was not water. Some other people said, oh, you maybe you just need to stretch the muscle. I did that. I'm stretching. And it would come off and on. Like it was like I couldn't figure out. I remember feeling it when I was sitting. I remember laying on the bed on my stomach and it waking me up out of my sleep. Like I didn't know what it was. So I eventually went back home, talked to the massage therapist. I'm like, what is this? She's like, oh, it's your piriformis. Your piriformis is really tight. You need a tennis ball. And I'm working with her, every other week, trying to get these massages because I'm just like, okay, stretching a little bit, but not really. And I got a massage gun and I'm like rubbing the gun in the place where this tight muscle is. Again, I'm doing like little things, right? What eventually happened was I was scheduled to go back. I went back to Cuba in November. I again kept the massage gun, made sure the massage was placed. Mostly it was okay. I don't think I really felt much pain, but from that was in May of 24 until like November 24, right? I started getting more active. I started swimming. I started taking aerial yoga, getting
Okay.
active. I was headed back, but the pain would not completely go away. All these things that I'm like, okay, I just tried to sleep with something between my legs. Um, I started cooking a little bit more, but I was still kind of anxious about when and where this pain would show up. Like it just would appear. So eventually I was headed back to Cuba in January and I went to the acupuncturist and I said, hey,
In Mexico.
yes.
Okay.
And this is the same acupuncturist I've been going to for years. Every injury I get, I go to the acupuncturist, works it out.
Okay.
And he immediately tells me, oh, that's a lumbar issue. Lumbar, I don't have any pain in my back. It's just in my leg. He said, well, listen, the only thing you can do, this is what I recommend. You can either go and, get probably 4 to 6 acupuncture treatments on a weekly basis, or you can go to this physiotherapist that I recommend. Well, and he was booked for the next, I don't know, 4 weeks. So there was no way I was going to be able to get in on his calendar. So I went to the physio. When I walked into the physio, my back was a little stiff. When I left the physio, I could not walk. Like it was this shooting pain up and down my right side, like unlike anything I had ever felt before. And my pain tolerance is pretty okay, right? Like I don't take pills, I don't take aspirin. But this, it was just like, what in the world? Now, this is on the completely opposite side of where this shooting pain in my thigh was happening. That was on the left side. I went to the physiotherapist a couple days before I was due back in Cuba. And yeah, it was just excruciating. They told me to go get an x-ray the next day. Went to get an x-ray, and I remember, like, I live on a third floor walk up. I could barely walk down the stairs. I had an umbrella using it as a cane to get on the bus. And I remember riding the bus down to the x-ray clinic, and I felt every bump that they rolled over. Like, it was horrible. The x-ray, they said you're fine. We don't really know what's going on. I reached out to another friend. She's like, you need to see a doctor. I went to osteopath. He did a scan. He said, you got bursitis, but you're going to want to get an MRI. Got an MRI, and then he tried to give me a shot, a steroid shot, and some anti-inflammatories, and I think some kind of, I don't know what else it was, but I'm not a medicine person, so I took an opioid. That's what it was.
Oh gosh, you were getting concoctions.
I took the opioid before I knew what it was. When I did research the second day, I was like, there's no way I'm taking this. Went back to the acupuncturist. He gave me some different prescriptions. I eventually got an MRI, and they told me that I had a bulging disc. One of my discs was bulging. One of them was uh, degenerating. And so, yeah, I mean, from the day that I had that pain, like that pain, I canceled my trip, of course. But from that day, I completely cleared out my fridge. I went on a 3-day juice fast. The only thing I had was juice that the juice place had delivered, and my neighbor made me some lentils with cinnamon and garlic and ginger. And that's all I ate for 3 days, was juice and lentils. But I couldn't stand, so I didn't care. I mean, I couldn't even cook. So it didn't bother me at all. Like, well, I slept literally for almost those 3 days, with the exception of me going to get these prescriptions filled. Um, but yeah, from that point, I set this diagnosis to, I call him Team Tish. My personal trainer, who was also my yoga teacher, my aerial yoga instructor. She has 20 years of dance experience as well as being a yoga teacher and personal trainer. I told her what my diagnosis was, and she created a plan. I told the acupuncturist, we created a plan. I told the new massage therapist, because now I was working with someone who had medical school training. We created a plan. I reached out to my registered dietitian. We created a plan. Like, it
Yeah.
was really, really holistic. And the osteo told me I needed to take this medication for 30 days. And I cleared it with my dietitian. I said, listen, I'm not a medicine person. I've never taken medicine for an extended amount of time in my life. Like, what do I need to do to make sure that I'm okay? She said, well, let's get you some herbs for your liver. So that's what I did. I took collagen, ashwagandha to help lower the stress. I started taking magnesium, both in pill form and spraying it on my feet. I had a herbal protocol that I was making teas twice a day. I was drinking turmeric tea after every night. Like, I literally changed my life. And in
And
30 days, the pain was gone. 20 pounds were released. A lot of drama. Let me get some water. Hold on.
okay. Hi, friends. Coach Tish is going to hydrate right now if you're here. How are you? How are you? How's your day? If you're joining us live in the conversation with Coach Tish, she was just telling us, recounting about how she went through this physical healing crisis, essentially, and then we are we're in the 30 days of getting her healing team together, and then that's what we're caught up now.
So that was that. I've got I don't know what that is, but some kind of dryness in the throat. But that was that, 30 days out, the osteo discharged me and told me to keep up the great work.
So,
So that was April 1st
what year?
this year.
Oh, this year.
Year. This year. So
Wow.
it basically from May of last year until April 1st of this year. So I have not
Oh.
had any pain since mm, probably March.
So let's contextualize this even more because you were in Spain when this happened. You live in Mexico.
Yeah.
You were traveling to Cuba. And so I want to hear, I do have a question about kind of pre this life, but also I want to contextualize this for folks who think like, as soon as I get out of the country, all my problems are going to be gone. As soon as I get to the land of milk and honey and tropical sunshine and juice delivery, I'm going to be sitting in the lap of luxury, which is possible, but other things, it sounds good. Right. So can you give us a little context about how long you've been living in Mexico? What brought you to Mexico? Kind of like what was the lead up to this experience?
Sure. I've been here for 7 years. I moved in 2018. I came as a result of a layoff. I was an academic advisor. I got laid off and took the severance and unemployment and came to a little beach town. I had wanted to live abroad since the first time I ever traveled abroad, and it took 10 years for me to, I guess, figure it out. I had tried to live abroad before, ran out of money. And what ended up happening was I found a remote job that didn't care where I lived. And so it was great. I stayed and I began traveling, right? But I was like always sitting, but I didn't really think anything of it because who thinks that, right? What I know now, they say that sitting is the new smoking. And so if we aren't actively engaging and not just standing, but stretches and moving our bodies in such a way, eating foods in such a way, in a way that nourishes us, if we're not doing things that reverse those effects, then yeah, I think we all have some pain of some sort to look forward to.
This is important because, like you said, your dream team, right? Your coach, your team Tish, it was holistic. It wasn't first it on the baseline level. It wasn't just a pill because I think we're often told that a pill is going to solve everything.
No,
right?
This gives us the opportunity to actually do the work that needs to be done.
That's right.
It just removes the pain so that you can do the things that you need to do without pain. It does not solve the problem. It's up to us to actually solve the problem and allow our bodies to heal itself.
That's right. So will you list your team again?
Sure. I had a massage therapist with medical training. I had an acupuncturist who's also an MD. The osteo, of course, who had first diagnosed me with bursitis. My personal trainer, but who's trained in yoga and dance. Registered dietitian, an herbalist. I think that's Look, and me.
And you. That's
on team.
That's it. I feel like the most important thing, right? Because simultaneously, some people think it's just going to be a pill, right? Some people think it's just going to be the team.
Yeah.
And they can be passive and the team is going to be the miracle workers. No. But if you're not on your own team.
Yes. Actively engaging and learning about my body and what.
Yes.
Because I was self-diagnosed with, so I was like, oh, okay, I have this pain, maybe a sciatic pain, maybe my pelvis is tilted, right? So I need to adjust my posture. I bought things to work my posture. I got a new desk chair. Like I got so many things for me to still be in pain, and I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, okay, none of the things that I think are actually it. But what happened was once I got a proper diagnosis, then we could all get in alignment. We could all get on the same page. We could all adjust and work toward my healing.
That's right. So what role, I know you've been gone out of the States full time, like living since 2017. So 2018, what role does being out of the country play in also supporting your ease?
So that's funny, right? We're talking about pain and ease in the same thing. You know what? I would be remiss to say that the price of the services did not play a role in my, being able to get weekly massages and weekly
Yeah.
acupuncture treatments, um, and work with a personal trainer one on one. Right? I would be remiss if I said that. And at the same time, I was getting acupuncture. Looks like your screen is frozen. Okay, but I was getting acupuncture when I lived in the States. I worked in an acupuncture school. And so I had been exposed to the beauty and the magic of acupuncture and natural medicine even before moving abroad. I went to massage school myself, right?
Mm.
So I recognize the importance of doing those kinds of things. I am very clear. I was an academic advisor for an acupuncture school for herbalists. So I'm familiar. I know that I needed a clinical herbalist on my team.
Yeah.
So it's funny, right? Because in theory, being in Mexico gave me access. But the truth is, it was me being willing to go against the grain and find other people who did not push pills while I was in the States that kind of
Ah.
prepared me. So, my registered dietitian is in the States. She has a membership program, so I'm in her membership, and her membership program is reasonably priced, in my opinion. I know the price changes, but I make sure that I work with practitioners who have like group rates, if you will, right? So things that I can reasonably afford. Just because I live, in Mexico doesn't mean I'm trying to pay a whole lot of money for everything. But there are accessible healthcare options if we look for them. Like, especially those of us who work full time. I've been
Yeah.
receiving so many ads for nutrition group practices now. I think that's a big thing, right?
Mm.
Where, your insurance will cover you being able to talk to a registered dietitian, someone with a master's degree and master's level training, who can support you the same way that she supported me.
Was your relationship to ease out front before this medical experience? Like, was that a much as of a priority to you before as it is now?
So, funny you should ask. When I was traveling, I laid across the bed a lot, right? I thought that me laying across the bed was me resting. But what I recognized, I would lay across the bed, watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever TV shows after work. But what I recognize now is more than resting, I think I was just exhausted, right? I want to say that I was recovering, but um, really I was still tired, even if I did lay across the bed, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I recognize now that rest, at least the way it's sold on social media, um, isn't the full story. Like there's a
Yeah.
way to rest in a way that is nourishing, right? There's a way to rest in a way that replenishes. And
Yes.
that's not what I was doing initially. So, I like to say I'm not really a hard worker. I like to do things that come easy to me, which is, why I'm a coach today and I was an academic advisor for 10 years prior,
Yeah.
right? Like I've always tried to do things that I can do naturally,
Yes.
don't require a lot of work, or effort, if you will. But, I still live in this culture that rewards and pressures us to hustle and to do more and to push. So I may have not been a hard worker, but I still felt guilty about that. I still felt like I should be doing more, right? I should feel exhausted. I should be empty at the end of my day. Like all these things that we're just told and sold, and that is really just bullshit.
It is. It is. So then was the medical this bursitis, was that the kind of, did that flip the switch and kind of help you start thinking about things differently?
Absolutely. That versus because I knew from so I'm trained as an herbalist and a massage therapist myself. So immediately when I heard itis, I said, "Oh, that's inflammation. Clear out the
Ah,
system. Everything gotta go." Now, mind you, I have been eating from the apps, like ordering from the food apps all across the world, no problem. Spain, Paris, it didn't matter where I was. I Google what the apps are and I'm ordering from the apps. Okay. But when I got this bursitis diagnosis, that pain, I mean, I don't do pain.
yeah.
Like I just don't. Like I do natural things, but I do natural things because I try to nip things in the bud immediately. That 3 days of only drinking juice, it felt like it just made me it well, juice and lentils. It just reset. Like what herbs, what plants, like I need to learn how to cook.
Mm.
Right? Because I didn't really know how to cook the things that I eat. Like I like bougie food. I like
Same.
craft cocktails, right?
Same.
So I had to learn how to cook the way that I ate.
Yeah.
So I immediately, I went to ChatGPT and uploaded the menu for my favorite restaurant and said, I need to know how to cook like this.
Ooh.
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT out here saving lives. I didn't even know you could do that.
listen, I said ChatGPT basically gave me a cooking class on layering flavor, on marinades, on
What?
and then I had to buy dishes because now I'm sharing food with my nutrition group, my registered dietitian group chat. So I'm like, I want to learn how to plate. So chat showed me how to plate. So I got new dishes and I got new
What?
silverware. I'm telling you.
You're resourcing ChatGPT in ways I never thought about.
Listen, my food, and I was like shocking myself. And I like international food. So
Yes.
I'm cooking, you name it, I'm making it. I've got Greek salads, I got shakshuka. I'm eating stuff I have never even made before. Shakshuka is like a tomato based broth with eggs in it. I took the
Oh,
eggs
it's
out
so.
and put salmon in it. Baby, when I tell you, like my creativity exploded, my energy exploded. Yes, I reduced the inflammation. But I just discovered this whole new. Now I'm getting into fermented drinks, probiotic sodas. Like this.
Wait, wait. This is blowing my mind. Because I also do not cook, and I also have a bougie palate, and I also love international food. But I have never thought to resource Chat GPT to help my life like
Listen,
this.
um, uh, cumin, paprika, turmeric. Of course, lots of onions and garlic. But turmeric, paprika, smoked paprika, and turmeric, smoked paprika, and cumin will save everything. I don't care what you're making. If you add, I mean, I've made West African spinach stew, West African peanut stew, West African tomato stew, the shakshuka. You name it, doesn't matter what you're making. If you add those spices, it just awakens everything.
You're giving me things to do. This is very
Listen,
exciting.
I decided to start working on a cookbook. So, I got a
It
notice.
says you stop reading. Uh, it says you've stopped being recorded because of low browser storage.
Is that
If
me? I have low
yes,
browser storage.
if you free up space to rejoin.
Hold on. So if I close some windows, how do I know?
I don't know.
Because I can close everything
Let
except
me
for this window.
let me go back to the video on down to the YouTube. This is blowing my mind right now.
I love it.
I'm like, I never thought to resource ChatGPT this way. It just didn't occur to me.
So I've closed everything except for this window.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, it says joining from the desktop app will also help. Oh, is this that?
It may need you to download it, but That's a whole process.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm back on YouTube and you're here with me. So we're both here.
Okay. Now, should
It's
I
doing
just
what it's
close?
supposed to do.
Now, should I just close it? Okay.
No. Close which?
Oh, it just,
Okay, I think we're good.
it was just a little, okay,
Okay.
a little notice that said something. I don't know. Oh, about the low browser. You're frozen. I don't know if you can hear.
Oh, I can hear you. Sometimes it freezes, but it's still live and recording and all the things. So we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we were getting deep into the Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Are you a Taurus by any chance?
Scorpio.
Oh, so we're sister signs. Okay. I'm a Taurus. I'm like, someone who's this enthusiastic about food and travel is my kind of girl. I'm like, these are my favorite things.
Listen, my favorite aunt is a Taurus. Her birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Auntie. My birthday's on the 8th.
My aunt
So,
Donna.
oh,
well, happy early birthday to you.
thank you. I'm like, what do I want to eat for my birthday? That's literally the only thing. That's the only.
I look forward to food so much, and I have been ruined because now when I go to other places, I'm like, let me take a picture. I bet you I can remake this. Like now it feels like I'm doing recon. I've hardly eat out now because my food tastes better. Like everything that I eat is what I want to have. You know, like I'm just completely spoiled at this point.
I look forward to this relationship with food because I do not have it. I always say I do not like to cook, but I like to eat. And I do not have that. But you are a testimony to going from not having a lot of culinary skills to loving it.
Yeah,
You're inspiring me right now.
Only my food though. So that means now we gotta do something together. So that I can walk through and see if I can help you fall in love with cooking too.
Because I'm very adamantly against falling in love with cooking. I like the idea of it, but let me tell you that my challenge. This is the real tea. By the time the food is done, I'm exhausted and very hungry.
Oh, no. I got 15, 20 minutes max. So I'm not doing all that. We got an air fryer. Yeah. So no.
Okay. Yeah. You got to teach me your ways because that's not. I be toiling. I be just because Okay. No. I like to eat now. That's why. Me too.
No, let it cook down. Like I can order now, but now I realize it's quicker for me to cook than to wait 45 minutes for the delivery.
Okay.
I'm like, I could be done in 30 minutes.
Okay. I'm ready to learn your ways because I don't know nothing about that life. I don't know nothing about it, and I'm ready. I'm telling you, that's why I don't cook because it takes too long, and I'm too tired. Okay.
And I ordered groceries, the whole thing. So you don't have to, because the groceries is what you said. The shopping would take me out. Because I didn't spend all this time looking for stuff, and I'm like, let me just order stuff.
I like grocery shopping. I don't mind that part.
Absolutely not. Somebody else bring me everything I need, and then I just go downstairs, get it, and it's on and chop.
So this is I want to circle back to ease, right? Because this is a beautiful example of how ease is different for different people too, right? Like grocery shopping feels like ease to me. I love a Costco. I love a Costco. That's.
What are you buying if you don't like to cook?
I don't know. I just buy. It's weird. My relationship with Costco is very nostalgic. I'm from Seattle. Costco's from Seattle, so I grew up shopping at Costco. So I buy things in bulk. Ridiculous. I buy toilet paper in bulk. I'm a one person. I live by myself. I buy garbage bags in bulk for years. No. I just not multiple times, but like I'll stock up. But I also buy like frozen things that I know I'm going to use. What else is like, I don't know, big bags of things. Nothing wasteful, but my theory is if I'm going to use it eventually, like toilet paper, I might as well buy a big thing of it so I don't have to keep replenishing.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely with you on that. I've got 30 rolls of toilet paper in the bathroom.
Exactly. And food too. Like my relationship with Costco is very deep. I love it so much. But so I don't mind grocery shopping, and even like grocery stores. There's something about the grocery shopping that I enjoy. But for you, if it doesn't, you don't enjoy it. So ease gets to be self-defined.
Yes, it does.
And that's the beautiful permission. Like
Yes.
it's not a one size fits all, right? Like
Yep.
it's what actually feels like ease to you.
Yes. Absolutely.
So how did you decide to leave? I mean, no, how did you decide Mexico was where you wanted to go when you decided to leave?
I don't know that I actually decided, right? Um, in the form that people decide make a decision. For me, my thinking was it's close. The intention was for it to be a lower cost of living so that I could grow my business. And if I didn't like it, I'd go somewhere else.
Okay.
Like in my mind, it was very much so a temporary move. It was just so that I could be outside the country and experience um, what that felt like so that I could grow my coaching business. That was 7 years ago, right? I don't know that I actually have grown my coaching business until now, right? And you know, most of that is because the only way that I knew how to grow was through hustle. And I'm like, that's not right. Like that's not right for me. And there's got to be another way.
Yeah.
But nobody is talking about it. And I cannot figure out how to grow without hustling.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna job. I'm gonna go work for a coaching company and see how maybe they do it, and maybe I'll figure this thing out. Maybe I'll start investing in the stock market. Like I'll just figure something like because I can't figure out how to do it, and it's like such a pressure trying to until now. Now I realize, oh, I recently discovered a coach um, who talks about how to grow a business while regulating your nervous system. Go figure. It took 7 years to find her.
Oh,
And
wow.
the things that she does not talk about are the things that I'm living. So she talks about regulating your nervous system, but my nervous system is actually regulated, so I can hear what she's saying. Right?
Ah.
Anti-inflammatory food, doing activity that I enjoy has regulated me. And so now, you know, doing work that I enjoy, not work like my day job, but work like, you know, things like this food thing that I'm excited about, all of these things give me energy, not just the food itself, but the activity, the
Yeah.
create, like everything that comes, it's giving me more energy than I've ever had. And I
Hmm.
didn't know was possible. It's like you've seen those cyclical diagrams where it's like give and take literally. That's what feels like is happening. Everything that I'm giving to is giving to me, and it's like
Ooh.
generating energy. And it's
Ah,
like it is amazing. If I
that's
wasn't
the
listening, I would think somebody was lying.
that is it. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
sweet spot. That's sanctuary.
Yeah.
That's heaven on earth, right? Like
It is.
that's life. That is what life is to be.
That is
That
living.
is it.
Absolutely, it is living. Yeah. And I
So
did not
what
know
would
that.
you say contributed like because has it been like this all 7 years that you've been in Mexico?
No. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like I did not have a life until last year. When this pain started, only
What's the
thing I did,
pain?
yeah, pain like blessed me.
Ah.
Because it wasn't just it wasn't me laying down and taking it, right? But you know, to be fair, right? When we talk about people's fight or flight, or freeze or fawn, like I
Yeah.
am very much so the fighter.
Okay.
Right? When things happen to me, I am not laying down and taking it. I am absolutely, we are going to go toe to toe because that's just who I am. And so when the pain showed up, I was like, baby, I'm showing up too then. If this what we do,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's like, okay, it forced me to grow to another level. It forced me to go deeper into myself. It forced me to do things that I was not doing. It forced me to find things that I enjoyed. I started with Mauritian dance class. I was just
In
like,
Mexico.
yes.
Yeah.
The teacher was Afro-Cuban. And she didn't speak a lick of English. So you want to talk about a mind and body workout? I'm like, my God, what is this lady saying? I do not know.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yes, but I don't speak damn Spanish. I speak food Spanish. If you take me to the restaurant, I know all the foods. I know how they're prepared. I know how to order. But damn Spanish, no.
Yes, yes.
I can tell you about where I'm from, how old I can tell you all
Right.
the
Yes.
damn Spanish is not was not part of that training, okay? But I did it for a season. That was my commitment. I'm gonna do it. Then I started taking line dancing. Then I started swimming. That everything that I was doing was another level of enjoyment and community building, and getting into my body.
Yes.
Right after line dance, I started. Well, no, after swimming, I enrolled in an aerial yoga teacher certification. So it was like, I feel like every 3 months I was taking on another activity. And then it was, okay, well, let's start this food thing. Let's get this food thing together. So by the time the pain happened, like the 3 days of pain happened.
Oh, this is all pre-pain.
Yes.
Oh,
Like I would have
gotcha.
this shooting pain in my thigh that I couldn't quite figure out how to. But all of this was me trying to keep it like at bay and resolve it. I didn't know
Ah,
it was like a spinal thing. I was like, whoa, okay, that's serious.
yeah. And were you working at the remote coaching job this whole time?
So I'm now at a second coaching company. But
Now.
yeah,
But
because I was laid off when I
pre-pain.
was 22. So I'm now at the second coaching company.
Okay,
So I
got it.
worked at two. So the first time I was a health coach, I worked as I moved over to the diversity team. I moved up from like diversity project coordinator to project manager to diversity business partner, and then I was laid off. They cut the entire team.
Prior to
Um,
Mexico.
no, since I've been
Oh,
here.
there was a layoff before Mexico
Prior to
and a
Mexico
layoff in
and
Mexico. Oh,
I've
there
been
are two.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
layoffs.
Okay, I'm just tracking.
Yes, a
Okay.
lot of layoffs.
Okay. So
But yeah,
moved up, then got laid off, then went to another coaching
coaching.
company. Okay.
Mhm.
Health coaching also?
Mental health.
Oh, interesting.
Very,
Okay.
very low. Yeah, very,
Okay.
very low. So now I've worked with over 600 clients, corporate clients primarily. And so a lot of what I'm experiencing, they are experiencing. Right. And so, or they're about to experience, right? If it's not the layoffs, if it's not the chronic pain, it's usually, I'm exhausted and I don't know why. Like it's something that's going on with them, that is primarily because of their job and how they work, right? Our jobs
Yeah.
take 30 and sometimes 40% of our day and our time, right? They say we work about 90,000 hours over the course of our life. Right. So if you're not working well, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have blue blocker glasses, if you
Yeah.
are under fluorescent lighting, if you don't have like a standing desk or even a laptop stand, like all of these things impact your body.
Yes.
How you work impacts how you live.
100%. A
Yeah.
100%. So right now you're working in the mental health coaching company,
Yeah.
and do you have your own private coaching
Yes.
business?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what this pain has shown me. Well, not just the pain, but my response to the pain and all of the energy that I was looking for. Because before, I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the mental energy or the physical energy to do anything besides my day job. And now it feels like I have an abundance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so what would you contribute, right? The pain happened. We got Team Tish together.
Yep.
30, like you recovered. It's taken a year. You've recovered. So what would you account to now this overflow of joy and
Alignment. Right? I did not know until I was on the other side of the pain that I was aligning my life with me having a pain-free life. Like I didn't know. I was setting up the pieces for me to win. Like if we think about life as a chessboard, anybody who plays chess, you usually are trying to think 3 to 5 moves ahead, but you can only think in terms of those 3 to 5 moves that you're in. And then we reevaluate after those first three,
Yeah.
right? And then at some point, you are setting up the board so that your king is there's a straight line. At some point, that's what you're doing. You're setting up your opponent, if you will, so that there's a straight line for you to win the game.
Hmm.
I did not know that's what I've been doing. So the
Hmm.
joyful exercise, right? The activity. I wasn't going to the gym because I hate the gym. I tried, but I genuinely dislike the gym.
Yeah.
Right? I order my groceries not just because I hate shopping, but it just so happens I hate shopping. But the doctor told me, no, you don't need to carry bags. If you're going to carry a purse, you need a backpack. You
Hmm.
need something that distributes the weight evenly. Like all of these things that I was told as a way to help my body not be in pain also help give me energy.
Yeah.
Right? The foods that I'm eating, the only oils I cook with are olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. So there's no seed oils in my house. There's no cheap vegetable oil, right? I'm eating primarily fresh because the only thing that's primarily frozen is the protein. But all my produce is fresh because I like the smell of cucumbers as I'm like skinning them and I make my salad or the onion, right? Like everything is fresh.
So no more ordering from apps.
So I ordered for the first time in 3 months, 4 months, last night, and I was so disappointed.
Oh.
It was a poke bowl. I'm in a play, and I was like, wait a minute, if I wait till I get home, it's gonna be like after 8 o'clock. Turns out I lost my keys anyway, so it's a good thing I did order. But it was not. It was disappointing. I didn't even finish it. I was just like, wow, this used to be one of my favorite meals to order. This like tuna, salmon, poke bowl. Like what in the world? What happened?
It sounds like you're back in yourself, right? Like it sounds like you're in
I'm
a
in
full
myself for the
life.
first time. Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
myself for the first time.
You're
That I don't remember ever being this in myself in terms of having hobbies. Um, I still work with a personal trainer, but we do aerial yoga twice a month. I do a regular upper yoga class on Sundays. I do a belly dancing class on Saturdays. I just said I'm in a play. We meet on Tuesdays. Like
yeah.
there, I'm growing. I'm now, have energy to actually uh, post on social media and not just energy, but creativity. Like
Yeah.
the creative juices are flowing. Like now I have so much more creativity and so much more to give. And I understand how this experience can support other people.
Is it that once this medical crisis happened and you were in Team Tish and y'all were all working together, that momentum continued? Like, is that what helped you, that support, that and lifestyle changes, right? Like significant lifestyle changes, but also having the support system that was like everybody's in this with you together and you just continued in that frequent, like you didn't go back to your old ways, right? You didn't go back to what it used to be like mentally, emotionally, physically, holistically. You had holistic support and you were holistically
We moved.
transformed.
Yeah, we don't live there anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, when you think about it, it's like I don't ever want to feel that kind of pain in my life again. There's no way
Yeah.
I can feel that. So if these are the things, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like this is what I've been praying for my entire life in a lot of ways, right? I have always been quote unquote overweight. Like I've always wanted to lose weight. And I tried a lot of different things. You name it, okay? You name it. I mean, I've run a marathon, I've run 2 half marathons. I'm telling you, you name it. I've gone raw for a month at a time. I've done vegan. Like you name it, nothing that I have done has actually helped me to lose weight. And what I realized was this idea of releasing weight is about your lifestyle, right? What are you creating that you can maintain forever? And none of these things were things that I could
Ah,
maintain forever.
yeah.
Now I'm like, yes, I can cook. Yes, I can order these, deliver these groceries. Yes, right? Like it's like all of these pieces are things that I can maintain. So that, I remember at the top of 24, the bottom of 23, I'm like, I just really want to create a fitness habit, right? Because that before I knew better, I thought that working out, exercise is how you release weight, right? But 80% of the weight it has to do with inflammation, it has to do with what you're eating, it has to be how your body is responding to stress, how hydrated you are, how nourishing your sleep is, right? All of these things that have nothing to do with exercise.
Yeah.
I did all of those things, and I went back. I created like a diagram for myself. I wanted to have an anti-anxiety diet. I had not looked at this sheet of paper, right? I called it my like holistic wellness plan for 2023. I had not looked at that paper since I wrote it, since I created it. In 2025, I looked and I was literally doing all the things that I said that I wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were living it.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So if someone is watching this and may or may not have acute pain, right? It may not be having a pain
Yes.
incident, but may be living a painful life.
Yeah.
May just be needing something different. What would you want her to know? Like what does she need to know? Because there's something here that happens
Yes.
first.
Absolutely. I think the first thing that's important for you to know is that you have the power to change your life. You are not relegated to a life of unenjoyment and despair, right? Many of us have been sold the lie of powerlessness and helplessness, right? This idea that I can't make any moves, that I'm stuck. You are not stuck. You just have, you don't have perspective. You don't know anyone who has done the things that you're looking to do.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just about perspective. And I know it sounds crazy because I used to listen to the mindset people, and I'm like, these people are nuts, right? I work in mental health now. My first degree is in corporate accounting. Baby, I ain't always been this. Right? I'm like, these people are bananas. No, it is literally about when you connect with someone who has been where you want to go or where you don't want to go, right? There's a different perspective that happens on the other side. Um, I was talking to a client today when we started working together a few months ago. She was deathly afraid of traveling outside of her comfort zone, right? She had a job, they didn't want her to move around, but the job was remote.
Uh-huh.
And I said, girl, where you want to go? We talked about the places that she wanted to go, and she's going. She's been there. We've
Yes.
been working together. She's been going these places. And, she's been setting her life up in a way that works for her.
Yes.
These systems that we are a part of, and many times, in many ways, that in many times that we have to be a part of for now, right? They want us to feel like we have no power. They want us to feel like we have no hope. They want us to feel like we have no option. Because as long as we feel that way, we try to make things sense. And as a result, pull any.
You're frozen. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. These spaces that we're in, they want us to feel like we have no power and that we have no options. And that's just so we'll stay in place because these systems benefit when we stay still.
That's true.
Yeah. So, you got to talk to somebody like me, somebody who's who's been some places and done some things and seen something other than what you've seen and what you've done.
That's
That's really
right.
what it is down to.
I think sometimes it requires an outside agitator or
Absolutely.
a agitator, affirmer, example, like someone who's going to be like, you're not crazy. You can do this.
Yes.
There are other people who have done it. I got your back.
Yep, let's
Right?
walk you through it.
Let's
Because the
walk you
thing,
through
the
it.
changes I made didn't happen all at once. It was one by one.
That's
The
right.
first change I made, my dietitian said, let's cook one meal a day. I was like, girl, I'm not cooking. I said, well, let me see what I'm ordering from the app. I said, well, I like bougie toast. So that's what I want to make. And I ain't talking about no dang avocado toast.
That was the first thing that came to my mind. What kind of toast you make?
Oh, I want brie and bacon and pear and pea jam on sourdough. I want goat cheese and apples and cinnamon and roasted almonds. I want mushrooms and balsamic vinegar, braised onions. Listen,
I want all that too. I want, that's what I want.
started with the bougie toast movement. This is where it started for me. I was like, I love salmon and capers, and this is where it started.
Yes. What's interesting too about what you're naming is it's all for you. It's all for you. This isn't cooking to other people. This is cooking for you. And I think that is what a lot of Black women, that's the self-permission that we don't we aren't often raised with. We're not often rewarded for. We're not right, we're told we're selfish or whatever the labels are.
Yeah.
And so we don't even have that connection that we are okay to be the center of our own lives. Like we're okay.
As long as you're not the center, who is the center? Who benefits? The same people who are shaming and guilting you?
Correct. Correct. And they're like, I hope she never changes. I hope she stays right here doing all the things I want her to do so that I can be in control.
But that's how the system has trained all of us to act.
And sometimes they are doing it on purpose.
I don't know. I think people really don't realize that they're doing it. And when we just expect each other to overextend it, as opposed to, I don't know, do my part and you do your part.
Right. It's normalized.
Exactly.
It's normalized. It's just, but at the end of the day, there's so many people who that is normalized for, but are miserable and exhausted and burnt out and keep doing it. And there has to be some kind of pattern interruption to recognize, oh, this isn't, my needs aren't actually being met. I'm actually not fulfilled by this. I'm actually not happy.
So you can either wait for a wake-up call, but you don't have to.
You don't.
You don't have to. You don't have to wait for a wake-up call. You just need a plan. And sometimes you need to talk to somebody outside of yourself to come up with
Often.
that is specific for your circumstance. Because what works for me is not going to work for everybody. Everybody,
That's
it's a lactose intolerant. That's fine.
That-
The funny thing is, I went through that bougie toast phase. I had about cheese. I think I get fed up every week. That's about that of it. And I don't even eat it every week. It's amazing.
But it's
hormones. I didn't even know. My dietitian said, "Oh, when you address things holistically, you tend to solve a whole lot of problems." So I was trying to do anti-inflammatory. Guess what? It's all that same diet is blood sugar balancing. I had no idea.
Was it the nutritionist who helped you sort out the anti-inflammatory diet?
No, I came up with. I did that on my own. No, she got me started though. She got me started because she asked the right questions. She got me the right questions. But when I got that diagnosis, I knew I'm like inflammation, anti-inflammatory, which is that's what we do.
Right.
So.
And now it's your life.
It is my life. I love it.
And I think part of what a lot of people think too is they hear anti-inflammatory or they hear whatever shift, they hear difference, and they think restriction. They think it
Baby,
means
I eat good over here.
right,
I
right.
eat real good.
That's important to remember and to know because people think it's like, I don't know how old you are, but I remember the rice cakes phase of the 80s. You know, like when it was like, I have to be eat healthy, so I'm gonna eat a rice cake and a celery stick. Like that's,
Listen, but that I have been taking. I've been ooh, what's the book? The anti ooh Latina anti diet.
okay.
So there's so many nutritionists that talk about how uh what we know of as health has been co-opted by white supremacy culture, and what we think of as healthy goes far beyond Mediterranean, right? Like
Right.
we've been taught that they're the only ones who eat healthy, and
Yes.
then all around the globe, people are eating whole foods and fresh fruits and vegetables and
Right.
fresh produce,
And
and
always have.
that's why I say it's so important that you talk to somebody outside of what you think you know, because what we know is such a small percentage of what's actually available.
Yeah.
But you think because everybody around you is saying the same thing that what you know and what you heard is the only thing. But it's the echo chamber. That's not true. What happens is, and that's why I say I'm eating foods from around the world, right? Anti-inflammatory is like what's not causing inflammation. All right, let's eat that. It's literally. I mean, I still eat chicken. I still eat salmon. Salmon is my favorite. I order salmon. I eat shrimp. You know, you can put a half an onion in anything. With coconut oil, you saute it. We can add coconut milk. You put peppers and onions, and you know, I put spinach in most things. I made a soup the other day because I was feeling something, and I put a whole onion, red and white onion, carrots, cumin, paprika, spinach. That soup was so delicious. Listen,
I'm like, I want that soup. I want
you
some.
do.
I know.
Absolutely do. I wish I put some sweet potatoes in it. That's one other thing. I roast sweet potatoes and you put cinnamon and cumin on them. You toss them in a little bit of coconut oil. You put cinnamon and cumin and just stir it with your hands. Put it right in the air fryer. 15 minutes.
I'm hungry now. I'm raw. Now I want. Now. Now I need. I'm like, dang. And it's whole foods, right? Like these are real foods, whole foods. This isn't processed food. This is real
It is
food.
and it is amazing. Everything I make. I told my girlfriend because I've started giving away food because now it's like I only want cooking has become such an art for me. I cook it, I love it, and I want to get up, move on to the next piece. And I started giving away food, and my girl, I was like, "How was it?" Every time I made food, how was it? She's like, "Girl, your food is always good." I said.
When did you start this food cooking? Because it hasn't been.
The pain. Well, it was just so the bougie toast phase was. I think that was probably like November, October.
Of 2024?
Yeah,
Like 6 months ago.
not even. Yeah, because I started with bougie toast. That was the only thing I made, and then I hired a chef to make my other stuff, and then I would. So what happened was I slowly started. Whenever I would go eat, I went to my girlfriend's birthday. She had her party at a Greek restaurant. And I loved the olives and the feta and the onions and tomatoes and cucumber, that cucumber salad they do. I said, oh, I gotta make this. So I had the woman make me my food, and I would make a Greek salad with every meal. That Greek salad is amazing. I don't like lettuce, but cucumbers as a base, game changer. Game over. I'm not a lettuce girl, but cucumber, love it.
You're really inspiring me. You really are because now I am hungry, but also because I'm like, this sounds easier than I think I've made it in my mind.
Yes. That's how most things go. I'm telling you, anybody who's watching, this is how it goes. You talk to somebody, because what I started with, I don't do hard work.
Right.
So
and you're a projector. You're a projector, right?
Yes.
I'm a projector. For those unfamiliar with human design, projectors, we are Oh, let me just give a quick and dirty. If you're not familiar with human design is like what I call astrology on steroids. It
Yes.
combines astrology, the I Ching, quantum physics,
Chakra.
chakras,
Yes.
and something else. 5 things. And there are 5 energy types. Projectors are one of the 5 energy types. We are 20% of the population, and we are one of 2 non-energy types,
Yeah.
which means we have to rest to get re-energized.
Yep.
And we are not here to do a lot. We're here to chill and guide. That's our strength.
I chill hard.
Right.
But now
So
my channel looks a little bit different because chilling got my ass at it.
right, you have to chill with intention in an intentional way.
Right,
So
right.
we are both projectors, and we both love and center ease in our lives
Yes.
differently, but we center it, and that's what's most important to name. And we're also guides. That's what projectors are, but that's what we both do in our work. So it's important to honor the non-energy type, right? When you say you don't like to work hard, right? Like that's important to honor in general, but especially if you're a projector. So if you've never heard of human design, go find out what your design types are. And I also work exclusively, I have another business called Success Loves Projectors, where I work only with projectors
Oh, that's awesome.
because I love us. I'm obsessed with
Bring
projectors.
me in so I can talk about food.
Oh yeah. Ooh. I'm like, more food talk? Yes. Yes.
We can do a cooking class. Let's go.
Ooh. Okay. Good. Perfect. That's good because I love to eat. I love food and I love projectors. I'm obsessed with us because anyway, that's a different conversation. We'll have that conversation on a different day. But it's important, right? And the joy, right? Like you are an embodiment of joy, like living your joy and your levity and your pleasure. This is so important. It's so important to center your own joy in your own life.
Yeah, well, we got to get here. It's a journey.
It's
And
a
it
journey.
doesn't have to be a miserable journey. It can be an enjoyable one.
Right.
But you
I-
got to get someone on it with you who actually knows how to enjoy the journey.
That's right.
Who always miserable and complaining, trying to take you somewhere.
And that's the thing. Like, I think there are a lot of people on a journey, but their journey is often miserable and they never get to the other side of it. It's just that they're on the journey complaining and drudging and never, like the journey can be joyful as well.
Mine has to be. I got it tattooed on my arm. Enjoy the journey. It's a command. It's not a suggestion.
Yeah. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah. So if I'm not enjoying it, we got to do something different.
Oof. Okay, Coach Tish,
Yes.
for everyone who's watching and listening and wants to work with you, wants to know how to get into your world, how do you want to be found? Where do you want to be connected with?
Yeah, DM me the word align on either Instagram or LinkedIn. I am Natisha Phyllis on LinkedIn.
And I'll put all those links in the description.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just DM me. If you know that your body has been whispering that it's time for a change, I just want to invite you to be spiritually obedient. Right? Again, you don't have to wait for a wake-up call. Sometimes we just need to plan. Right?
This is the thing. I'm very obedient. It's the only thing that actually matters. I am so, because I don't know nothing. I'm just being obedient and everything works out, right? When I think I know more, when I think it's awry. And I find that with clients, that has been historically the biggest block. It's not that they don't know. It's not that they can't know. It's that they don't respond to what they're being internally guided to do.
Yeah. Well,
That obedience.
That's conditioning. And so we
Exactly.
have to decondition. We have to deprogram. Because again, these societal pressures, family pressures, cultural pressures, right? All of the programming that we've received is why we are the way that we are. And so to do something other than what you've been programmed to do, it takes courage.
It does.
So, you know what's on the other side if you continue to live the way that you live, because our mamas and our grandmamas show what happens if you keep doing what we've always done. So if you feel the call to do something different, that means you're supposed to do something different.
That's right. As they say, if you keep doing what you always done, you will keep getting what you always got.
Yeah.
You got to do something different, and you don't have to do it alone, right? You don't have to be. I think that's the other fear, that it's like you'll be alone, you'll be isolated, you'll be exiled, right? And you don't have to. That's what both of us are here to remind you of.
Yeah, there's a new community waiting for you.
Yes.
People waiting for you. There's some new people literally waiting for you. But you won't, I talk, it's funny because living abroad, I remember when I first got here, it felt like a mind, can I curse? I didn't say that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
felt like a mind fuck, right? Because I came here on unemployment. Unemployment was $400 a week. There is nowhere you can live in the US on $400 a week. But I came to a little beach town in Mexico, and on $400 a week, my apartment was $300 a month, and I was eating tomahawk steaks for $50. I was flying back and forth to the States every other month. It was like, it's like, but I'm poor, but I'm not, but I'm lacking, but I'm abundant. It was like, none of what we have been told, it really is the nature.
It is.
Like, it is so not true, but you don't know it. You like, there's no way for me to tell you and have you logically understand it. You have to get in your body and have another lived experience, and you cannot have another lived experience from your perspective.
That's right.
Right? Like, you only know what you know, but I know different than what you know. And so my calling, my mission is to, let's put you in some different spaces that you probably would not go to on your own. And we start small. It ain't, by flight. It's, let's start in the city.
Yeah.
There's some places, because I've lived, the beauty of it is I've lived all over the country. Right? Idaho, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Kansas. I'm from Chicago, living in
Idaho.
Yeah,
Right.
that was my first job out of college. I moved to Idaho, and I'm from Chicago. Yeah. I'm telling you, I've been some places and done some things. I know some things.
Oh,
And
Idaho.
Yes, I was in Boise. You said you're from Seattle?
I am. How long were you in Idaho?
Not long. It was like 6 months. But I learned a lot in those 6 months.
Okay.
Right? I learned a lot about how to find community when you're the only Black person.
Yeah.
When the population is 2% Black, where do you find other Black people?
Yeah.
Right? So whenever people say, oh, I don't know any other Black people, baby, I live in Idaho. I found the Black people there. I know you found the Black people there. I guarantee.
Yes. Yes.
So
It's important to change your environment. I think exposure is the great.
Yeah.
I think exposure trumps money. I mean, sometimes exposure requires money, but not all the time. No, you can go to a different neighborhood, a different church, a different house.
Volunteer.
You can.
Like, there's so many opportunities for you to know different things, but you don't know the other people yet.
That's right.
Because you keep doing the things that you typically do. And
That's right.
Your nervous system is dysregulated, and you don't know how to regulate. Again,
You're just trying to stay safe. That's it. Which has its place, right? I'm not knocking it. If you're dysregulated and have a traumatized or dysregulated or disrupted nervous system,
what to do with that.
yeah, exactly. It does not have to be the norm. It does not have to be.
You do not have to stay the same.
You do not. No. And this is your life. Like, you get to do what you want to do with your life. This is your life.
I think about, what was that In Vogue song? This is your life.
You get to live it your own way.
Hey!
I know yes. Yes. I'm tone deaf, so I won't chime in with you, but I do know that song very well. Okay, yes.
They weren't lying. Listen,
They were not.
Information. We
Yes.
just have to live it out.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm so grateful for you and for this conversation. It's so important. It's especially as Black women, right? To not model it because of external pressures, but through authenticity. Like you said, through alignment. This is who I am. This is my life. Like, I've lived and traveled in 26 countries. Like, I've been traveling since I was like in the 8th grade. That was the first time I went abroad. And I've lived, that's what I mean when I say exposure, right? Like, I come from a family of very open-minded, dynamic people, and that is I I'm so grateful because
Yeah.
they said yes more often than they said no, like, and put me in places that I needed to be and help me expand my mind. But if everyone doesn't have that experience, we get to still curate and cultivate that for ourselves as adults.
I was 28 the first time I went abroad with my college roommate who's Nigerian. And I'm like, girl, I begged him please for her to take me home with her all of college. And then finally.
And she did.
Yes, she did.
And it changed your life.
Absolutely. Because that exposed, I was like, oh, this how y'all live and this how I'm supposed to live.
Yes.
I'm supposed to live. But you don't know.
You don't know until you go.
Absolutely.
You don't know. And you're worth it. That's the other part. You're worth it.
You are.
You're worth it.
You are.
You're worth it. Ah, thank you, Coach Tish. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll put all your links in the description below. Is there anything else you want to make sure that people know, or is there anything else you'd like to say as our closing notes?
You got this. Come on and give me a call for playing. But stop bullshitting on your dreams. You know what time it is. What you supposed to be doing.
That's
now
right.
I sound like a black mama.
Well, sometimes we need a loving black mama to tell us the truth like that.
But I don't have any children. I refuse to treat people like children. You are an adult. So let's be peers. Let's get on this game. Let's get on our path and do what we were called here to do. There's people.
One thing I want to add to what you're just naming is I think this is the quiet part. I'm very good at saying the quiet part out loud. This is the thing. I think so many of us are waiting until retirement or waiting till vacation.
Make it to retirement.
That's what I'm saying.
Dying in their 40s and 50s.
That's
they
it.
won't say that it's from stress. Nobody says that they so stressed out that they didn't make it. Nobody is saying that because people are dying.
Literally.
That was my
Literally.
I'm like, God, what if I die before I'm able to live the life of my dreams? I'm just supposed to wait.
No, you can do it today.
Yeah.
You can do it today.
You can at least make the step. I'm not saying we're going to overhaul your, but at least give yourself the opportunity.
Yeah, be willing.
Who knows different.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Coach Tish.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. I'm going to put a link to the video right here that I did with Dr. Kimani Norrington Sands of the Lifting As We Climb, where we talked about Black women leaving toxic jobs. So I'm going to put a link to this right here. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Coach Tish.
You.